How do you get medication after hours? The way the pharmacies here work is most of the pharmacies are open business hours during the week. There are 24-hour pharmacies, but it rotates. So in other words, you don't have one pharmacy that's just open 24 hours. You have maybe pharmacy A is open on Monday nights and pharmacy B is open on Tuesday nights and pharmacy C is open on Wednesday nights. And so it's a little bit challenging, especially if you're trying to find out online, like you're driving around at midnight and you're trying to get some medication. It's not like you can just look up the 24-hour pharmacy near you and go. So you have a couple of options. The pharmacies have posted on the window of the door of the pharmacy, they have a list of all the pharmacies in the town that you're in and which ones are open on which nights. So if you're just stuck, you can pull up to a pharmacy and go walk up to the door and see which one's open and look up the address. And then you can go there and go get your medication in the middle of the night. Now, when I was looking for medication in the middle of the night, I didn't know that it was posted. So I was just driving around like a crazy person trying to figure out which pharmacy was open, looking for lights on. I was desperate, right? Luckily, I had a friend who knew how to do this. So that's why I'm trying to tell you guys, because it is so important. There's an app for your phone, and I'm going to put a picture of it. There's an app for your phone called Pharmacias de Serviço, and there's also a website. And the app is fantastic because wherever you are in Portugal, it will tell you which pharmacies near you are open. So if it's a Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. or if it's a Sunday night at midnight, you can find out your closest pharmacy. It's great when you travel. It's great where you live. We had a time when we were in Porto and my son got sick. We don't live in Porto. We were visiting on a weekend trip and he got sick and we needed to get him some medicine, and I was able to just pull up the app and go find out which pharmacy was open, and we were able to just go get him what he needed. It's one of those things that you should really download and get the hang of before you need it, because when you're in a panicky situation, you don't want to be trying to figure this out. Now, these pharmacies that are open off hours have OTC or over-the-counter prescriptions as well as medical prescriptions. So if you have an urgent care situation or you go to the emergency room and they give you a prescription, you can go to the after-hours pharmacy and fill it. You can also go and get things like stomach medicine or whatever you need, fever medicine, things like that, again, off hours. And the pharmacists here can actually help you with health problems. So if you go in and you say, I'm having these symptoms, what have you got? They will suggest medication for you. That is really helpful, especially if you don't know the name of the medication in Portuguese. So maybe you're used to taking, Sudafed in America, but you don't know what that's called here. So you can say, hey, I want this. It's called Sudafed here. You can even pull it up on your phone and say, this is what's in it. What do you have? What's the Portuguese equivalent of that? And they will help you. A lot of pharmacists speak English, at least enough English to help you if you're really struggling. And also a lot of medical terms are based on Latin. So they might be a little bit different in Portuguese, but they're not completely a different word. So definitely look up your symptoms on a translator like DeepL or Google Translate so that you have the Portuguese words. It does make it a little bit easier when you get there. When I went to the pharmacy in the middle of the night, the other thing was they actually didn't have the pharmacy open. There was somebody working in there, but there was like a little service window. So he would just come to the window and I had to communicate through the window what I needed. And then he'd go get it, charge me and take my money. But I didn't actually go in the store. It was raining. So if you go to the pharmacy in the middle of the night, wear a raincoat in case you have to stand outside in the rain. I pulled up on my phone what was wrong and I showed him through the glass, so that I didn't have to worry about trying to explain it through this little window. He just went and got the medication and gave it to me. Let me know if you have any questions about pharmacies. One final note I'll say about pharmacies is that they will refill a lot of medications, prescription medications, without a prescription. It depends what it is. They're not going to do antibiotics. If you have a normal prescription or, something that frankly isn't addictive and isn't an antibiotic, and you're just like out of it, you can take your prescription from wherever you're from and show it to them. And a lot of times, or even a Portuguese prescription, you can say, hey, I'm out of this, or I'm about to run out and I can't get to the doctor in time. They will frequently just give you another one. You'll have to pay a little bit more for it than if you had a prescription. And I've had pharmacists who've done it and they didn't even bat an eye. They were just like, here, and charged me, and it was no big deal. I had another pharmacist who gave me a lecture about how I really needed a prescription and I should definitely come back the next day when I had my prescription, or the next week. I wouldn't count on it, but it's especially nice if you're here on a shorter trip, or frankly, sometimes it's just hard to get a doctor's appointment in a timely manner. So you can just get your prescription refilled. So that's some intel about pharmacies. Let me know what your experience is. If you have any questions about pharmacies, or if you have any medical related or life related things that you'd like me to cover in future videos. Thank you so much and have a great day.